This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 47. What if you could live off 50% of your pay? By J.Money of budgetsaresexy.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Finance Daily, the podcast that brings you the best content in personal finance 5 days a week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Dan Warren.
Greetings, fiscally responsible listeners. My name is Dan, the guy who once got the evil eye from President George W. Bush. This is where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet, and today our post comes to you from J.Money of budgetsaresexy.com. It's titled, What if you could live off 50% of your pay? Now, if you have any topic requests for us, come visit oldpodcast.com and share them. And if you would like to get your hands on an automated money tracking spreadsheet that can help you to live off of 50% of your pay, come visit oldpodcast.com and simply sign up for our free weekly newsletter. You will then get the spreadsheet automatically, along with a video tutorial that will walk you through it, which Justin from Optimal Living Daily created just for you. You can also join in an even simpler way by texting the word financial to the number 44222. That's text the word financial to 44222. And with that, let's get the show going as we begin to optimize your life. What if you could live off 50% of your pay? By J.Money of budgetsaresexy.com. I've had this post halfway drafted in my inbox for longer than a year now, and I think it's about time to put it out there. That's what happens, I suppose, when you have 120 plus ideas sitting in there. But yeah, can you imagine if you lived off only 50% of your income? How much stress and freedom that would open up for you. I mean, I know it's not possible for everyone to do since we're all in different phases of our financial lives and whatnot, but it's at least worth a few minutes of your consideration, even to just formulate a plan on how to actually make that happen. This popped into my head today for two reasons. The first was because of a comment JMK made on one of our posts about always keeping a $100 buffer in your checking account. JMK wrote, quote, "We've cut our expenses to the basics so that we can live on about 55% of our take-home pay. This doesn't include savings or things we spend on rarely and can't predict the timing of, like restaurants, clothing, household and car repairs, etc. Most weeks none of these things happen, so all the excess after paying off the visa gets swept out to our retirement accounts or an extra mortgage payment. If we had to buy new sneakers for the kids, repair the washing machine, or buy a new lamp, we simply transfer slightly less that week. When we want to take a holiday, we just let the excess pile up for several weeks and then go. It's a little unconventional, but it's a system that works for us. Because we live on way less than we earn, we have a weekly opportunity to fund unexpected expenses or little splurges, but most of the time, it all gets moved somewhere sensible. I find that by not budgeting for entertainment, clothing, etc., we don't feel entitled, as if we've pre-approved ourselves to spend that amount without pausing to question whether we really need it. Instead, there is no planned budget for these items, and anything we spend is coming out of what would otherwise be available for the Friday transfer to savings or the mortgage." End quote. Pretty sexy, right? She's oozing with freedom and the luxury of living life on her own terms. I freaking love it. The second thing that caught my attention recently was a show on Oprah the other month. Yes, guys watch Oprah too. They had this family on who was making boku bucks, but their daughter didn't think they were doing enough to give back and somehow convinced mom and dad to completely change their lifestyle. I can't remember all the details exactly, but I do know they ended up downgrading their home and donating more money and time to charity, and it was all because they cut back on expenses and started living off only 50%. And by the way, if you want to read more about this, you can check out the book called The Power of Half, One Family's Decision to Stop Taking and Start Giving Back. Now, that's obviously an extreme situation there, but I recall them saying it wasn't that hard at all to cut things out and learn to just spend less over time. I think it took them about a year to get to that point. Many of us are already trying to get to this level, but it's a great idea to keep in the back of your minds when you're poring over that budget or financial game plan of yours. Another thing people do, which is killer, is only living off one paycheck and saving or investing or paying down debt with the other, provided you're married or living with a partner. It doesn't necessarily fall into the 50-50 category here, but the point is that if you could live off only one person's paycheck each month, you could do some serious upgrades to your financial life. And if, God forbid, something happens to one of your jobs, like a layoff or demotion or what have you, you know you could at least survive with the other person's checks, and hopefully it will be the larger of the two. Just different ways of saying spend less than you earn. And if you can do that at the 50% level, you're a rock star, which I'm sure all of my lovely readers here are doing, right? I accidentally kind of fell into that once the missus started attending grad school 4 years ago. But I'd like to think it was possible even without that. I can't even imagine what it'll be like once she brings home a sizable income again. Even $30,000 or $40,000 would be a nice change from the $12,000 over the past handful of years. Something tells me, though, that our new baby around the corner may keep us on the current track for a bit longer. You just listened to the post titled, "What If You Could Live Off 50% of Your Pay?" by J.Money of budgetsaresexy.com. And just a reminder here to all of you about how I read these posts. Since I'm reading material that was originally in print from these terrific bloggers, I do sometimes make slight adjustments to what I'm reading. So, for instance, at the end of the post you just heard, J.Money asks for readers to comment in the comments section about today's post. Now, I left that out because obviously you're listening to me and you're not reading on the site. But I do encourage you to visit these authors' sites and comment on their posts and become part of the communities as well. In this case, you can read more and see this original post at the website budgetsaresexy.com. Now, getting back to the subject of today's post, which was about living on 50% of your income, the only way you can know how much of your money you're actually saving every week or month is by tracking all of your income and expenses. And that is something that Justin over at the Optimal Living Daily podcast has been doing for over 6 years. And he created an Excel spreadsheet to break everything into categories, and he's made that spreadsheet available to all of you. And all you have to do is to sign up for our weekly newsletter. To join, you can text the word financial to 44222 or visit oldpodcast.com, oldpodcast.com, and join there. It is a great way to both get some free stuff for yourself and to show your support that helps keep this show going. And that's it for episode 47, only 3 away from the big 5-0. I'll see you in tomorrow's show where I'll be reading 2 posts from The Minimalists. So I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from amazing bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com, that's oldpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.